When we talk about massive technological shifts, we're usually looking at a blueprint for what could be the largest leap in human history. Today's explainer is all about India's incredible trajectory toward becoming a global epicenter for artificial intelligence. We're talking about a nation literally engineering a total scientific revolution from the ground up. And trust me, these domestic innovations, they are absolutely going to send shockwaves through global markets everywhere. Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's our structural plan for today. We'll kick things off with how India's AI hub emerges. Then we'll check out transforming life, powering frontiers, and the government blueprint. After that, we'll hit the roadblocks. And finally, take a look at the future skyline.
Section 1. India's AI hub emerges, the foundation of a digital superpower.
To really grasp the sheer scale of this build, you have to look at the ground conditions. India isn't just, casually adopting AI, they are cultivating a massive ecosystem. We're seeing a rapidly expanding digital infrastructure, an absolutely huge pool of skilled professionals, and a booming startup culture. And the concrete foundation holding all of this up? That would be the IndiaAI Mission. This isn't just some standard policy, it's a massive national engine explicitly designed to fund startups, build vital datasets, and pump out raw computing power. And think about this for a second. With a population of over 1.4 billion people, India is generating an unprecedented amount of data. It makes the country this incredibly unique testbed for global AI. They're accelerating complex scientific discoveries across the board, processing experimental data way faster than any conventional methods.
Moving to Section 2, transforming life and society, AI in healthcare, education, and agriculture.
And this brilliantly illustrates what's actually at stake here. We aren't just talking about making administrative tasks a little more efficient. We're talking about saving lives. Look at diagnosis. Deep learning models are right now analyzing X-rays and MRIs to spot cancers, cardiovascular issues, or diabetic retinopathy far earlier than is humanly possible. It's essentially becoming this ultimate tireless medical assistant. Then, moving over to drug discovery, AI is jumping in to predict molecular interactions and optimize clinical trials, which drastically cuts down the time it takes to actually find new cures. And in biomedical engineering, we're seeing this massive surge in wearable monitors, robotic surgery, and highly precise medicine that's tailored to individual patients.
Now, let's pivot from human health to the health of the land, because agriculture is still an absolute cornerstone of India's economy. Just compare traditional farming, which, let's face it, relies heavily on backbreaking manual labor and manually tracking the weather and soil, with this new AI revolution. We're looking at precision agriculture. AI-powered systems are taking satellite imagery and soil data to spit out real-time recommendations. You've got smart sensors totally optimizing precision irrigation and fertilizer application. There are even drones and autonomous robots mapping out crop health. It's wild! It dramatically increases crop yields while actively shrinking the environmental footprint.
And of course, you can't build a new future without rewiring how we learn. In education, AI is completely flipping the classroom experience on its head. It's serving up personalized learning paths, intelligent tutoring systems, and automated assessments. But honestly, one of the most fascinating applications here is the creation of AI-powered virtual laboratories and simulations. This lets students conduct complex, completely safe experiments digitally. Think about the impact of that. A student in a rural village can now access the exact same elite virtual lab as a student sitting in a major city. That democratization of access makes AI literacy an absolutely essential structural beam for the future of science and engineering.
All right, Section 3. Powering industries and frontiers, nanotech, manufacturing, space, and defense.
Let's zoom way in for a second, down to the microscopic level. How does AI actually build advanced nanotech? Well, it's a super fascinating three-step process. First, AI models predict the nanoparticle size, its morphology, and crystal phases based entirely on synthesis conditions. Second, it optimizes green synthesis, literally identifying the most suitable plant extracts to use. And third, it accelerates high-throughput experimentation. By predicting these functional properties before anyone even picks up a test tube for a physical experiment, AI is rapidly building advanced nanocomposites for things like targeted drug delivery, cancer therapy, and environmental cleanup. It cuts down research time massively and improves reproducibility. It's a total game changer.
Zooming back out from the microscopic to the massive, we can see AI's dual impact on both Industry 4.0 and national defense. In manufacturing, machine learning algorithms are crunching sensor data for predictive equipment maintenance, which means they're essentially fixing a machine before it even breaks. That reduces incredibly costly downtime. Smart factories are using digital twins and IoT to completely optimize their supply chains.
On the defense side of things, this exact same technological leap is providing intelligent surveillance, smart drones, autonomous ground vehicles, and really vital cybersecurity threat detection to secure borders and protect personnel.
And hey, the frontier doesn't stop at the border, right? It extends straight into orbit. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, is leaning heavily into AI. As India gears up for future lunar, planetary, and even human spaceflight missions, AI algorithms are busy processing satellite imagery and keeping an eye on space debris. But even more impressively, they are handling autonomous spacecraft navigation. Because, let's be real, when you are millions of miles from Earth, autonomous decision-making isn't just some luxury feature, it is a critical necessity.
Which brings us to Section 4, the government blueprint, laying the structural foundation.
Now, all these incredible advancements don't just happen by magic. They require serious structural support. The government has laid down some very clear, specific frameworks. Digital India for public infrastructure, Startup India for entrepreneurship, and Make in India to boost domestic manufacturing. But you really want to pay special attention to the National Supercomputing Mission and the National Quantum Mission. The supercomputing mission is basically providing the heavy lifting, high-performance computing muscle that researchers desperately need to run these complex AI models. Meanwhile, the quantum mission is pushing the very boundaries of communication and sensing to perfectly complement that AI development.
But wait, is this architectural marvel really ready to just be built without a hitch?
That takes us to Section 5, Roadblocks to the Revolution, Structural Risks and Challenges.
So, the crucial point here is that we have to be realistic and acknowledge the structural vulnerabilities threatening this timeline. The challenges are no joke. Right now, there's limited access to that vital high-performance computing infrastructure we were just talking about. There's also a frustrating lack of high-quality annotated datasets, which you absolutely need to train these models properly. Plus, we have to navigate a really complex web of AI governance, cybersecurity, and data privacy. On top of that, there's a distinct shortage of interdisciplinary experts, and perhaps most critically, especially when you're dealing with 1.4 billion people, there is a massive urban-rural digital divide. Bridging those gaps and seamlessly integrating AI into traditional public services, that's going to require some immense immediate global collaboration.
Finally, Section 6, the future AI skyline, a glimpse into tomorrow. If we pan up and look at the projected skyline of India's technological future, it is honestly awe-inspiring. We are looking at a massive fusion, AI acting as the brain, quantum computing as the muscle, and 6G communication acting as the nervous system connecting it all together. This convergence is expected to just supercharge discoveries across everything, from medicine and robotics to climate science and renewable energy. This level of deep integration is exactly what's going to secure India's global technological leadership and competitiveness in the decades to come.
To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this blueprint, the source text leaves us with this powerful thesis. Quote, AI will play a central role in achieving sustainable development, economic growth, and technological leadership. AI is quite literally reshaping every single major sector of the economy. Continued investment in research, human resources, and collaborative innovation is set to position India as a leading global center for science and tech.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty massive thought to ponder. How will India's completed AI blueprint ultimately reshape the global balance of technological power? It's a huge shift, and watching this architecture rise from the ground up is going to be truly fascinating. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.